I think for me, it was quite clear that the PSG project would be unable to deliver the
Yeah.
Champions League trophy. And it was clear right from the start. If he delivered it with PSG, would that have made a better story? Yes. I think they should have a plan for him. He's the best player in the world currently for me, and
Yeah.
he's joined the best team in the world.
I mean, for me, Vinicius Junior is the best player in the world currently, but that's a debate for another
Ah,
day.
fair, fair.
All right, it's a here we go, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. I think this is probably the longest transfer saga in the history of football. Probably in my lifetime. Let me put it that way, because history of football, yeah, it looks too long. But in my lifetime, probably the longest transfer saga. Finally, Kylian Mbappe has been set to sign a deal with Real Madrid to join them as a free agent this summer. So the Kylian Mbappe story eventually comes to a conclusion after all the drama and drama and drama. First, let me get your initial reactions, Erasmus, on this signing for Real Madrid, and also on the decision making on the part of Mbappe. Do you think it was long overdue, whatnot, and eventually he's made the choice? So, what's your initial reaction to it?
I was tired. I think when like there's this phenomenon like where you're waiting for some, like you are excited about the thing and you want it to happen and you're looking for, and
Yeah,
then
it doesn't
there's
happen.
like lots of drama pulling. Then I like whatever you do, just like maybe when you're watching a series and it's like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
they put,
Just
they're not like
just skip it and get bored of it.
do what you guys will do. Or the whole thing looks like when, also like when like a guy wants a girl and it's like, oh, trying to talk to her and she's showing interest by moving like this. You just get
Yeah,
annoyed and you're like just do what you do.
just
So
leave.
sure, welcome back. Finally, you are here. Okay, I I'm one of those who believe that like this is happening a bit late. Like it's quite easy
Yeah,
to forget, to still think that because we knew Mbappe when he came out onto the scene as a 19-year-old, 17-year-old, I think, even blazing
yeah,
everywhere. So there was a lot of expectation on him. But these days, football, there's not a lot of time. You need to deliver.
yeah,
And I think even though he has delivered, this is a man who has been in two World Cup finals. Not a lot of people can say
yeah,
that. Scored in both of them, scored a hat trick in the final. So in terms of the individual things, I think Mbappe has done a lot to cement himself already as one of the best players who would ever walk this earth. But
yeah,
in terms of your legacy, even for France to be known as one of the legends of France, you need to win some things, and one of the things is the
yeah,
Champions League trophy. I think for me, it was quite clear that the PSG project would be unable to deliver the
yeah,
Champions League trophy, and it was clear right from the start. If he delivered it with PSG, would that have made a better story? Yes. So I think
yeah,
the trade-off between, do I make this, which of the stories better? Because Madrid just won the Champions League this season. If he
yeah,
won it with them, yeah, nice. But coming off the
yeah.
back of them winning the Champions League
If you
trophy,
come and win
it's
it,
going
the
to look
story's
like,
not that huge. Yeah,
yes, it kind of looks like they are doing you a favor more than that. But I think
yeah,
ultimately, if I was the one making the decision, and this is how I, even when we were in debate, I used to make my decisions. I'm like, who cares? At the end of the day, what are we going to care about? They are going to
the
say six
trophies.
Champions League trophies, zero. Who
Yeah,
cares about how we did it? Who cares about the story? About, yeah, the story and things like that makes it nice. Like you want back to back, yeah, it looks nice.
yeah,
But what always matters is what's in front of you. Like, people say, what was the tournament? It was a mushroom tournament or whatever it was. Nobody cares. Just win it. So I
yeah,
think he put himself in a very, very difficult position. But if you listen to his interview from CNN, it was quite clear that there was a lot of influencing which was coming externally. Like if
Yeah.
the president of the country calls you
Yeah.
into the room before you sign a contract, you're going to be
Charlie.
pressured. So I don't blame him too much, but
Like
um,
PSG
I'm,
and oil money, Charlie.
yeah, I would really have would have loved to see him during like with the different sets of play. Like this Madrid team, there's a lot of uncertainty around where he plays, and it kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of when Ronaldo came in and like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
into Real Madrid and there was a lot of talk about his position where he plays, displacing the other guys on the teams. But I think they should have a plan for him. He's the best player in the world currently for me, and
Yeah.
he's joined the best team in the world.
I mean, for me, Vinicius Junior is the best player in the world currently, but that's a debate for another
Ah,
day.
fair, fair, fair. I mean, like there's Ballon d'Or candidate and there's like best player. Like
Oh yeah,
Messi,
I get what you mean. I get what you
yeah.
mean. And I think that like I think Vini has matured to catch up with Killian, that he can match him toe for toe in terms of performance and individual ability as well.
Oh, we'll see. They'll be in the
Yeah.
same team, so
I mean,
we'll
they
see.
will. Mbappe is the one who needs to be much more careful. But let's focus on the discussion for today. I mean, Mbappe's story with Real Madrid has been unfolding for a very long time, and I think it started so early that now it's just no more interesting even seeing it happen. And there are two reactions to this as well. I think if Mbappe had joined Real Madrid like 2 years ago, they probably had two Champions League trophies by now.
Who
But
knows?
but but also, to think that Real Madrid went ahead to sign Mbappe after just winning the La Liga and just winning the Champions League and the kind of season that they've had, what is this Madrid team looking for in this world? What is Carlo Ancelotti and Florentino Perez? What are they looking for? Because what's the
Greed.
point? Like,
It's mortal greed. It's mortal greed.
see, if you look at where Madrid is, and I see that their biggest challengers in La Liga is Barcelona, I think of it as this dominance in La Liga is never ending anytime soon, right?
It's it's
Like the
now
fact that they've
the
brought in
farmers league.
Mbappe, they've brought in Endrick, who is like a magician with the ball in terms of goal scoring talent, a proper number nine. And you see the likes of Adagula, who hasn't played that much because of injuries, but every time he's played, his goal contributions is insane. Even him at a very young age, making the best of decisions with the ball. The kind of goals that he's scoring is insane as well. You look at this team and you're asking, why? What are they looking for? Because imagine you are playing a match. They take off Mbappe and bring on Endrick. They take off they, t- they take off Vinicius Junior and bring on who? Valverde or Rodrigo. They take off an attacking midfielder and bring on Aragula. Like there's no drop in quality in any of these substitutions that you are seeing. How are you matching up against this kind of team? And for me, it looks like Ancelotti is like the perfect manager to gel all these big name players with ego on their shoulders, to gel them to play because of the kind of caliber of coach that he is, right? Because obviously, like you said, he's managed the best talent in football. Therefore, players tend to listen to him more. I genuinely don't see any way out for any of his competitors in the
I
Liga.
think it's the problem that everyone is looking for in football when you have like multiple options in different positions,
Yeah,
and now the strategy of most clubs, and Madrid is doing this more than most, is always to make sure that you have the best young talent in the world. So
yeah,
if you look at best young talent now, you're looking at players up to the age of 23, let's say,
yeah,
because by 25 you are getting into, even at 25 you are still quite a young
yeah,
player, and you look at them in different positions and they are in Madrid, like Kamavinga, Trameni,
yeah.
some of the best midfield talents in the world at the
See
moment.
Valverde.
Yeah, so it's a similar project that clubs like Chelsea, Brighton, even Manchester United quite recently are trying to copy, and we discussed in a previous episode.
Yeah,
But I mean, these guys have just been, Real Madrid is just good with it instead of signing players when they've already been made. Bring them in and then sign them. And so it's a good problem to have
Yeah.
multiple players in multiple positions who can do the job. What I think we would most likely see is a return to the 4-3-3 because even though Carlo Ancelotti had to use the 4-2, what's 4-1-2-1-2, I
Yeah.
think Madrid traditionally plays as a 4-3-3, and they like that they have some principles. And this season it was because I remember his first spell when he tried to chop things up, it wasn't really appreciated like that. So I think there's a return
Yeah.
to the 4-3-3 where you're going to see the likes of Camavinga, Trameni in midfield, and Bellingham in midfield, and
Yeah.
also Valverde, depending on how they want to set up, either as a 2 and 1 with Bellingham or as a
Yeah.
three with Bellingham bombing the box. I think Mbappe would be played more centrally, and I think
Yeah.
he's been pampered a lot in terms of the position he plays because
Yeah.
centrally he could still get a lot of goals. In fact, he will get more
Yeah.
goals. He saves a lot of energy with guys to picking up the ball and running, and uses his pace rather for running in behind defenders,
Yeah.
using his close control because he's very good in tight spaces to finish off chances, and then also to initiate counter attacks. Because imagine
Yeah.
Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, and Rodrigo running at you. That's like that would be serious. So I think we're going to see Vinicius still stay on the left wing, Mbappe through the
Yeah.
middle, Rodrigo. And what we're going to find is that Rodrigo is going to back up on the left wing. Hendrick probably deputies Mbappe in the middle, and
Yeah.
Adagula deputies Rodrigo. And Valverde can
Yeah.
also play that position
Yeah.
there. And I think now you have a more settled attacking front,
Yeah.
and I think they can do much of a bigger job. So I know it sounds like it's a lot of talent, but at the same time, it makes sense how most likely they'll set up and how they'll play.
Yeah. 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 Obviously, because I think like and this has been an issue with or not an issue, but a discussion point with Manchester City as well. They don't tend to have a huge squad, but they have a quality squad such that their deputies in positions are very, very top notch. That once you are missing someone, you do not feel the depth in loss. And I think that's what
Yes.
this Madrid team is providing you now with the signing of Kylian Mbappe, where they now have an outlet through the middle. And I know like Rodrigo can also play much more centrally, which I think he's done even more times than on the wide side as well than even Vinicius does. And so if you want to deploy Mbappe on the other wing as well, and I think that front three is going to be one of the most fluid, mobile, difficult to defend against front three because Mbappe can drift onto the left. Vinicius Jr. usually enjoys the half spaces as well. Rodrigo can also drift in, just swap and interchange places. And if you want a much more defensive shift on the wings, you can play Valverde instead of Rodrigo to give you a much more defensive output as well. So these
Yeah.
players give you a very, very solid depth. And I don't think defensively Real Madrid even have a problem in terms of their defensive setup right now. Probably there are discussions about bringing in um, Alfonso Davis, but I don't even think Alfonso Davis currently is so much better than Ferland Mendy. I think Ferland Mendy is probably a much more complete left back than Alfonso Davis is, even though he probably offered you more offensively. But don't also think Real Madrid is a team that needs that offensive fullback right now with the pace that you
Mhm.
have with Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe. They really do not need that kind of offensive fullback. So it's really, really interesting to see the kind of depth that you are having. Like yesterday, I saw them take off, I think, Nacho and bring on Eda Militao. And I'm like, it's like taking off Ruben Diaz and bringing on Virgil van Dijk. Like, like what exactly is the difference in quality here? You're not missing anything out of these guys, and it's really really solid the kind of team that they've set up. I think the initial fear was that they were planning to bring in Mbappe, but then Ancelotti's contract was due to run out next year, but now he's extended it to 2026. I think next year will be a solid conversation about who replaces Ancelotti because after two more seasons with the team, he will probably want to leave. He will probably have won a lot as well. And I just want to put this to you first. I know managers would evolve and managers would appear and come out of nowhere in the next two seasons. But with the kind of egos that you see in the Madrid dressing room, I also don't think Madrid is the team that's going to adapt to the more emerging trend of we have a players come and execute a project. We don't want you to have any say. They are still that traditional club who wants a manager to have more influence than just like we have a project, even though like they are all aligned, but at least the manager should have a presence, should have a winning history or of some sort. I don't know if you can foresee who replaces Carlo Ancelotti. The only person I can foresee now is probably um, Xabi Alonso if he continues to deliver with his Bayer Leverkusen team.
Yeah, so on the contrary, Madrid is a very, very structured club. Like, it's very simple. There's one person in charge, and he's called Fiorentino Perez. So he he I think they are what they decided to do, because initially their strategy was buy the best players in the world,
Yeah,
get the best coach, and then we'll do it.
put them together.
Then they began,
Yeah,
then they began to now say, no, there's a Madrid philosophy. We want players who connect with the batch, like
yeah,
the want players who understand what it means to play for us. And that's when it began. Get some of the best young players, immerse them in our principle, how we understand things, and then get the best coach to coach them.
yeah,
So you go as a coach, you look at your team and say, I think we are missing this. Then Fiorentino Perez goes into the market, looks for who is the
but
best
it's for
person,
you.
buys it
Yeah,
for you. Yeah, and they what they also like to do is make sure that apart from just winning games, they want their players to be winning their Ballon d'Ors. They want
yeah,
their coaches to be winning these awards. So
yeah,
they try and buy who is the best in this position if they see that
yeah.
someone has talent. And so someone like Mbappe, who they just foresaw will be the best player in the world, they just wanted him for
They've
wanting
been
sake.
chasing him for a very, very long
Yes.
time.
So
Yeah,
because it's the best player should play for Madrid. That
yeah,
it's as simple as that. So I think the coach who come in does not necessarily need to have character, ego, things like that. But then also, like you mentioned, given that there are a lot of talent in the squad, a lot of people with trophies, they want someone who can command respect, like the best coaches. They,
yeah,
if you don't have the CV, most likely they will not
yeah,
give it to you. With that
yeah,
being said, I, I I think a few names come to mind. Like some of these traditional guys who are finding nowhere to go. Someone like Poch would be a very, very decent appointment for Madrid because
yeah,
the style of football that he plays is very, very close to that. He's also project based, can improve the young players which they have in their squad, which they are still maturing. So Poch is a very good candidate. And beyond that,
yeah,
like you also said, Jabi Alonso, because he connects with the club, because they understand and he's one of the best and exciting young coaches, so they want him. That it's as
yeah,
simple as that. Not even kind of style of football or anything. They don't
yeah,
care about play what they just want the best players playing in
yeah,
their team. If they find out
yeah,
that there's a position where the player is not pulling their weight, they will send him out and go and get the
yeah,
a better one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been a great discussion as well. We've spoken about Mbappe, the possible tactical deployment, why Real Madrid just wants to dominate football for the sake of it. It's annoying if you are from a different team and you are looking in on these signings and the sheer talent that they have. Like somebody was saying, someone said, now that you have Mbappe, just sell Rodrigo to us. And Arsenal fans,
Yeah,
please. I'm
and,
like,
and Rodrigo doesn't want to go. That's the
Rodrigo,
another
Rodrigo
thing.
doesn't want to go. Like I saw an interview answer that he gave. He said, "Why would I want to leave?" And to be very
Yeah,
honest, that's a simple question you would ask yourself. Why would he want to leave? Like, what's wrong with him? Why would he want to leave? Like,
and this guy had Barca chasing him, and he stalled Barca so that Madrid will come. All his life, he's just wanted to play for
yeah.
Madrid.
So he's
So
not going anywhere. It's like United fans saying we want City to just let go of Alvarez, so he stop warming the bench and come and play for them. See, stop daydreaming. It's not going to happen. So all the best to you guys. Thanks very much for watching. Leave your comments, reactions to the Mbappe story, how likely you see this Madrid team succeeding in the near seasons as well. Leave your likes, subscribe. Do not forget to share with people that you love. See you on the next one.